Hi everybody, Kira here at Unfurl, and today I need to share the ugly truth of why I stayed in a narcissistic relationship. And it's not an easy video to make, but I felt I made a video yesterday about my experience in a narcissistic relationship, my experience of narcissistic abuse, and it was the truth. It was my experience. But last night during the night, I woke up because I knew I'd only told half of the story. And I really want to tell the other part of the story, the why I stayed part. Because if I don't say the ugly truths about myself in that relationship, then I'm feeding into this false narrative that's in the world about how narcissists are the bad guys and the codependents are the good guys. And it's all very black and white, but it isn't black and white at all. So I really would love to express how I got value from being in that relationship. I picked somebody who I knew was slightly more broken than me, because it gave me someone to help and to fix. And when we're helping and fixing someone who's a bit broken, a bit more wounded than we are, it helps to elevate us so that we're slightly up on the pedestal of okayness and we're leaning down towards them in their brokenness. And already there's a power imbalance in the relationship. Now, this was all unconscious, so there's no awareness of ourselves in these relationships. But every now and again we get little glimpses of it, and we notice our thoughts, and we'll push them out of our awareness because we don't want to know these things about ourselves. There were times when my partner, who was my narcissistic partner, he lived in a perpetual state of negativity, bitterness, anger, complaining. And my role was to try and be his listener and his validator and his companion, and to sort of support him and hold him up. I got my self-worth from that. I was a shame-filled person. I didn't know that. I felt I had no value unless I was helping, fixing, and focusing on the other person. So as much as I claimed and believed that I wanted him to see me, I also know that I wouldn't have been able to bear him seeing me, because I felt so broken. I felt so flawed. I felt so imperfect. I had been in a relationship prior to this toxic relationship with someone who did see me, and it was excruciating. I was the broken one. I was the narcissist in that relationship. This is very difficult to admit, but I can see it now. I was the narcissist. I had an eating disorder. I had very low self-esteem. I had very low confidence. I was very insecure. So I was looking at the other person to give me validation, to see me, to give me support, encouragement. But all the while inside, while this person saw me, I was so filled with anxiety because they could see in my mind how flawed I was. They could see that I wasn't cool enough. They could see I wasn't interesting enough, that I was ugly, that I was fat, that I was boring. I wasn't very interesting. So it felt so uncomfortable. But again, I wasn't conscious of this. And I would pull away. So the dynamic of the relationship was, when I felt so exposed, I'd have to pull away at times. And then he would sort of lean towards me. But then when he would pull away, then, I'd get the anxiety that he was going to leave. So then I would lean back towards him. And so we had the dance going on. There's the dance, the dysfunctional dance of the relationship. But eventually it got to the point in the relationship where I realized we'd gone out and taken substances one night. We'd come home, he'd fallen asleep. I lay awake next to him, whatever it was, 6 o'clock in the morning. On my inner journey, doing my inner, I don't know, whatever analysis. And boom, I suddenly saw how selfish I was. Oh my God, it flipping blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked and horrified to realize in this moment of insight what a fucking selfish person I was. And as soon as he woke up, I said to him, I've just realized how selfish I am. And he said, yeah, you are pretty selfish. Oh God, didn't help. It didn't help at all. It was like, oh my God, here's my wound. Yeah, let's just put a big load of salt in there. But that was the beginning of the awakening for me. I think that was when I slowly started to realize, flipping heck, I really don't pay much attention to what's going on around me. Because when you feel broken, when you have a core wound of shame, of feeling bad, but you're unconscious of it, it's like having a wobbly tooth that you can't stop poking it with your tongue. It's like something is wrong, something is wrong, something is wrong. What is wrong with me? What's wrong? So it's like there's this kind of, you're being pulled inwards to kind of sort something out, but you don't know what the something is. But it does make us very kind of introspective. So the introspection of shame makes us very selfish, that we're looking inwards and not really fully able to be present to the people around us. So I was the narcissist and I was with somebody who was helping and fixing me. Now, what they got from that, I'm not even going to go into because that's not my journey to make. But I know that there was the power imbalance in that relationship and how painfully excruciating it was to be seen. And then I go into the next relationship with somebody who can't see me and it hurts so much. And I say I want them to see me. I say I want them to spend time with me. But somewhere in me is the voice that goes, but you had that and you didn't like it. You've been seen. It's very uncomfortable. So now there's this inner sense of, oh God, like I want to be seen, but I find it uncomfortable to be seen. I say that I want this person to get fixed and I'm trying to help them to feel better about themselves so that they will see me. But then when they do start their, wellness programs or some positive thinking regime and they start to feel better, when he started to feel better about himself for a week and he seemed happier, I felt fear. I felt panic. I noticed it in myself. Oh God, if he's fixed, he's not going to need me. And if he doesn't need me, he's not going to stay. It's all unconscious. These were like fleeting thoughts. And I pushed it out as quick as it came in because I didn't want to know this about myself. So you can see there's a bind here. You want someone, you kind of know someone can't see you. You want them to get better and fix so they will see you. But on the other hand, if they see you, they're going to see how flawed and imperfect you are. And then they're going to leave. So then you're stuck. Because I didn't want to be on my own. If I left that relationship with him, what am I going to do? Go and find somebody who sees me and that's going to be uncomfortable. So I'm going to have to leave that relationship. So then I'm going to be on my own. And I didn't want to be on my own. I really, in my mind, a thought that I had over and over again is I am so fucked up. I am never going to be able to have a normal relationship. So I better just stay with what I've got. And obviously it couldn't have been easy for the person I was in a relationship with, the narcissistic person, because the spotlight of my eyes was on him all the time. While I kept my eyes on him, I didn't have to connect with the deep shame and not enoughness of myself. So that's why we stay focused outwards on that person who also has the deep wound of shame. So now they're living with the excruciating spotlight of the critical eye of the other. And then they withdraw from me and hide in their office playing video games because that's safer. Can you see the impossible bind everybody is in? Wanting to be seen, afraid of being seen, wanting connection, but connection feels so dangerous we can't take our eye off the ball. So that's why we stay. We stay because we get value from being the helper and the fixer. It helps us to avoid our own shame. We stay in the dysfunctional relationship because we feel so fucked up. We don't feel like we're ever going to be with anybody normal and have a normal, happy relationship. So I'm laughing because every time I start to make these videos, a cat wakes up and then the cat starts climbing out the windows and cat wants to go out the window. So I have to let the cat out. Okay. Every day. So that is part of the glue that keeps these relationships together. It's why people that live with alcoholics or drug addicts, they want the person to give up their addiction, and everything would be perfect if they just give up their addiction. But when the person does give up their addiction, the whole family system is in chaos because everybody's identity is so wrapped up in the role that they play to support that system and that person and that structure. So if the person starts to get well and take responsibility for themselves, they don't need us anymore. Everybody feels like, oh, sugar, now what do I do? Who am I? Who am I when I am not helping and fixing? Oh, it's just me, and just me is not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not interesting enough. I'm not beautiful enough. We're back in connection with our own core wound. We will do anything to avoid that, including encouraging the other person to remain in their addiction so that we can stay safe in our role, slightly elevated as the helper and the fixer. So this is why it's the ugly truth. But you see, if you leave a relationship with a narcissist or an addict, and then your whole feed on Instagram and Facebook and everything is narcissists, they do this and they do that, and they're such bad guys and they're so terrible and I'm the good guy. Well, you can keep on doing that, but you're going to stay stuck. You're going to stay stuck in this very polarized view of yourself as the good guy and them as the bad guy, and you're never going to meet your own shame. And if you don't heal your own shame and sit in front of a therapist and show them your ugly, raw humanness, you're never going to accept who you are on a deep level, be okay with who you are, accept you're just human. And until we can accept that we're just human, good and bad stuff all muddled together, unless we reach that point, how can we be in a relationship with somebody who sees us? We can't. It would be too painful, too excruciating. So it's very, very complex. It's very complex. If you've come from an early childhood where you were not seen, relationships don't feel safe. The only way you know, and the only way we know to survive in them, is to keep all eyes on the relationship. Push our true selves out of sight, our needs, our feelings, push them out of sight. Keep our eyes on the person that we need in order to survive, and work out, what did they need? What did they want? How do I have to behave in order for them to stay in connection with me? Relationships are so fraught with danger. In a relationship where that ex-partner saw me, I was in red alert the whole time. It was so stressful. It was so stressful. I was like walking on eggshells to try and hide who I really am and be the funny, happy person, but I couldn't keep it up because it's not the full truth. There's a part of me is very prone to melancholy and very prone to deep thought and thinking about the difficult, nuanced experience of life. But somehow that wasn't seen in my early childhood. So how could I possibly have been that true self in relationship with a guy that I fancied? I wanted him to like me. I didn't want him to go, Jesus, you're a bit deep and a bit complex. So I tried to hide it, but you can't. When you're in an intimate relationship, we have to be able to just let it all hang out, the truth of who we are. So yes, that is the ugly truth of being in a relationship with a narcissist. I get to hide from myself. I get to tell all my friends how selfless I am, and I do everything, and I look after the kids all by myself, and I do all this and I do all that, and they just don't see me. Okay, that is true. But it's not as altruistic as it sounds. We're doing it for our own selfish reasons, which is to try and give ourselves a sense of worth. And I'm not judging this. There is no victim blaming in any of this. This is just about getting so real with our humanness. We're trying to feel okay about ourselves. And we're going about it in all sorts of arse ways. You know, it's about peeling back all the behaviors, all the roles that we've played, all the masks, the identities, peeling it all away, and just standing there naked in who we are. And the best place to practice doing that is with a therapist, because they're not gonna divorce you. They're gonna see you and go, yeah, that's okay. It's so healing. It's so healing. So there you go. That is the ugly truth of why I stayed. And I know I didn't behave like an angel in the relationship. I lost my shit regularly. I thought mean things. I said mean things. I got drunk at times and was hideous. So I don't take pride in exposing this or sharing this, but I'm saying it because if you're like I was and you're stuck in one of these relationships and you're only reading there's the good guys and the bad guys, and the good guys are lovely and kind and perfect, and the bad guys are evil and mean and withholding validation and love, and you're sitting at home going, Jesus, but I'm a fucking lula, mental, volatile head case. I'm so broken and so flawed. I don't relate to any of this. I don't know whether I'm the good guy or the bad guy. I don't know. Who's the narcissist here? Is it me or is it them? So if you're in this one of those relationships and that's all you're reading about, you're going to feel like you're the only one who is crazy inside, and all the other cases of narcissism and codependence are black and white. So I'm saying this, all of this stuff, just to convey to you, we're all light and dark. We are all lovely and deeply messy. All of us, every single one of us. And you are too, but you're still worthy of love. You're still worthy of love for all your complexity. But in order to know that about yourself, you have to get out of that relationship. You have to. You can't heal your hand while it's still in the fire. You know, I heard that in a video. A lady was recovering from narcissistic abuse, and she said that phrase years ago, and I wish I knew her name because I'd credit her now. But it has stayed with me. It is so profound. We're complicated. The narcissistic person, or the person who's playing the narcissistic role in this relationship, is also complex. We've both got the same wound. The wound is shame, feeling not enough, feeling flawed and broken. But while our stuff is all boom, 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 sparking off each other over and over and over again, we can never work out whose stuff is whose. What's mine and what's his? It's all so muddled up in the middle. We're firing off. We're triggering each other's shame over and over again. Ugh, it's a mess. The only way to heal is to separate yourself from their mess and sit with your own mess. Sit with your own chaos, your own complication, your own complexity, your own not enoughness, and let a therapist see it. Okay? Oh, what a big video. And I really hope that it reaches somebody out there who knows that they are in a place of chaos and doesn't know where to start with it. Okay? You're still, always were and always will be worthy of love. All right, people, I am sending you loads of love. It's a tricky journey. It really, really is, but it's doable, okay? It's just hang in there. Just hang in there. Get some help. Don't do it on your own. You can't. All right. Yes. All right. Lots of love. Bye for now.